Now it's live.
Hakeem Green, Channel Live, live and direct, BDP, all day, every day. All we do is spark, mad, ism. Yeah, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Wes Henderson. What's up, Wes?
What's good, Hawk? Rewind.
Yeah. Oh man, so how you make it out there in Houston, man? You guys just got hit with the Arctic blast, you know?
Yeah, we good now. Everybody's back in order. Ted Cruz got back safely from Cancun, so everything is all good.
Yo, how your man Grandpa from the Munsters is gonna try to skip out of town with the family? You know. They had a meme going on. This is the first time. This is the first time we say, what do you say about a father crossing the border for his family?
Yeah, I never knew somebody. I never knew teenage girls and a wife had to be escorted to Cancun for a 3-day weekend. For a 3-day weekend.
Yo, man, it's crazy out there in Houston, man. But in Texas, I should say. But we're glad you guys are on the other side of a bad time, and hopefully things get better for you guys out there. You know, so all right, we're in week number 11. You know, we got a very special guest, keeping it in the theme of street ball. We have an official street ball legend, the original, the OG, the official half man, half amazing is going to join us a little later. You know, so we got a very special week. Aaron Rice is in the building. What's good, Aaron?
Hey, Rice.
What up? But you know, like we do every week, we're gonna play a song, give a chance for the people in the building, our guests, to share the stream, bring some people to the conversation. Make sure you like, subscribe. That's how we keep the whole affair going. But with that said, we're gonna play a little Channel Live, a little Hakeem Green joint. And that'll give us the time to get the word out.
Increase or relax social distancing and other mitigation measures they've put in place. The president's been itching to begin easing the nationwide guidelines meant to stem the outbreak and contain the economic fallout. Well, the weekly jobless numbers are out, and they are a staggering show of the early impact of the new coronavirus on the economy. Around 3.3 million people filed for unemployment in the past week, far exceeding the previous record from 1982.
This goes out
that I will use my right or the right
all my smokers. My
I believe that I'll choose this fight for the right to be free.
Set up that
I believe I'll treat tonight like it's 420.
Madism in effect, hip-hop changed the game. Everybody smoke good, my grower changed the strain. I used to smoke for the thrill, now I do it for the pain. I stay pushing weight, I do it for the gains. It's like a revolution, Prince with purple rain. Purple kush, purple haze, like cheese in a maze. So I put lights in the tunnel, LEDs supply the rays. All we do is spark medicine, that shit is all the craze. Remember back in the days, trade bags of haze from the corner bodega. Poppy put it in some lays. It was rhymes in a cipher with blunts in the air. Then off with a shorty couch locked in a chair. My shorty look exotic, weed kinda rare. She said the weed was erotic with smoke in the hair. Isn't makes the time go by, life without a care. So roll it up, light it up, put it in the air.
I believe in happy faces, yes, this is true. Love is just for special people, yes, just like you. If you're reaching for the stars, you know you can do anything you want to if you just get into. Then I believe that I will use my right or the right to be me. I believe that I'll choose this fight for the right to be free. I believe I'll treat tonight like it's 420.
Yo. I get redder than red men when it's time to Johnny Blaze. I get pounds from Sugar Hill, I get dimes from Sugar Rays. I keep the aromatic, it's a passion, not a habit. Akeem go with green is like carrots go with rabbits. It's so automatic how the weed gets lit. Duplicate the seed, clones get clipped. Hawk, what you puffin' on? I know that ain't the piff. Wedding cake and gelato, wanna lit? I got flavors, pump flavors, they call me Flavor Flav. Gorilla Glue #4 and Super Haze. Afghani in the cough, sour diesel gets me off. I'm looking for a rental property, something like a loft, so I can grow these trees just in time for Christmas. Saint Nick with the gift list. I know you wanna hit this. Look for Madism when it's time to light a flare, then roll it up, light it up, put it in the air.
I believe in happy faces, yes, this is true. Love is just for special people, yes, just like you. If you're reaching for the stars, you know you can do anything you want to if you just get into the groove. I believe that I will use my right for the right to be me. I believe that I'll choose this fight for the right to be free. I believe I'll treat tonight like it's 420, like it's 420. Oh, 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 oh. Yes, this is true.
What really stands out to many are the one-time direct payments from the government. The Trump administration says they hope to start rolling them out in 3 weeks. The payments are based on your latest tax filing. Individuals who earn $75,000 or less will get $1,200.
Oh, unmute the microphone. There we go. Yo, bear with me, folks. I'm still getting my tech skills, together. Wes is out there, La La Land. Here you go, Wes. You back in effect.
I like that. I like that.
You like the song in the video?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Good stuff. Bravo.
Thank you. That is off the Madism Who Want This Smoke LP featuring KRS, General Steel, Dres from Black Sheep, Sadat X, Tretch, Do It All, Keith Murray, of course, Carl Thomas, Thurston Howell III, and much more. You can get that on all your favorite streaming platforms right now, or you can go to the website madism.info and cop the album for $4.20. $4.20 for the whole project. And that song, I believe, Put It in the Air is on that joint. So
I believe you said $4.20.
$4.20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So, all right. So this week, let me see what the schedule's like. We got something juicy set up for you guys. It's gonna get quite interesting. Let's just deal with football first. Since that season's over, we've kind of moved on, but there's been some updates with the season. First of all, is Russell Wilson is in Seattle and he's unhappy. He's totally unhappy. He's a little upset with how their offensive line has been over the course of his career there. He watched the Super Bowl. He saw how Tom Brady put it down. He's quite jealous of Tom Brady's situation. So he's kind of rocking the boat right now. What's your feelings on this, Wes?
Man, Russ is that dude that, tried to walk the line and, is marketable. He's a leader. He's like he's corporate America's dream, dream brother. And then he backs it up with good play. But he's corporate America's dream, but he's also corporate America's nightmare.
Explain.
Because though he comes in a pretty package and he looks like, he gets it in there, he doesn't fit the mold that they think people are, but he's still woke. That's the key. Yeah, Russell Wilson is a woke brother. Yeah. So he just sees the writing on the wall, and he knows that every quarterback pretty much has some say. In terms
should have some say
when you've done what he's done.
That's right.
And accomplished what he's accomplished. Mm-hmm. And the man has been sacked more than any quarterback in the league in his history since he's been in the league. Yeah. And he's not one that gets hit because he knows how to take hits. Yes. So he's not risque, but he can run. Mm-hmm. And he knows how to fall and drop.
Yeah.
You know, so he doesn't just fall down in fetal position.
No.
He just understands the game, and he takes care of his body, right?
Yes.
So you can count on him being out there every Sunday. And he walked out of a meeting this week. You know, he had some feedback on what he thought some good ideas might be in terms of personnel and areas they could address. And they basically shut him down like, that's not your role. So for me, I guess he's looking at it, hey, I'm a partner in this thing. And they're saying, no, you're a player. You're gonna do what you're told, and go back to your corner. So I understand what he's going through. I get it. And I'm not gonna say that is a black quarterback thing, because Aaron Rodgers is going through the same thing in Green Bay. But the one difference that I will tell folks, the reason that Aaron Rodgers is going through the same thing as Russell Wilson is not because it's not a issue, as we always know. It's because the Green Bay Packers are the only team in the NFL that's run by the city.
Yeah.
So they don't have ownership. So and they have insecure GMs. Every time they bring a GM in, they really don't want to mesh with the quarterback, because that means that they could lose their influence on the team.
I'm sorry, what's interesting about that?
Yeah.
That would be socialism, no?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay, we just want to clear that up, that socialism is okay as long as it's in particular communities.
Yes.
Okay, we just want to, cool.
Yeah, the community of Green Bay, they own the Packers. People have stake in the community with the Green Bay Packers.
And I think that's a great thing. Personally,
it's a great
I think that's a great thing.
An absolute great thing.
Yeah,
but
we're not mad at that.
To do that. Right. You know, because actually Green Bay is not all people that live in Green Bay aren't all Packers people. Like, as we go to, they don't look like the normal tailgate Packer fans. So, but anyway, that's the reason why the Aaron Rodgers situation is unique when it comes to his influences, because he's really just basically he's battling a general manager who wants to keep his job, not lose when a quarterback has more say. So that's the difference between the two. Yeah. But Russell has zero say, like every other quarterback that looks like him in the NFL. That's pretty much that. I mean, you figure a guy like Matt Ryan has more say than Russ. You know,
crickets, no doubt, no doubt.
Yep.
But, yo, just to in terms of Russell Wilson, you know, I have a particular appreciation of him in his game, because the first time I caught wind of him was when he was leaving North Carolina, heading to Wisconsin. And I don't know if it was ESPN or HBO, one of the two, did like a documentary series on college. It must have been ESPN, on the college football quarterbacks that year. So they followed him from North Carolina to Wisconsin, his camp, you know, that the whole summer training program. And I was extremely impressed with how he carried himself. But, you know, he had like a little crossover streak to him. You know, he was a little crossover. So, you know, but you couldn't front on his game. So I followed him at Wisconsin just to see how he was going to evolve. And man, he exceeded all expectations at Wisconsin. He ended up getting drafted third, which was quite disrespectful considering he balled out in North Carolina.
Oh, you mean third round?
Third round, excuse me. I'm sorry. Third round. Thank you, not third string. Third round. He balled out in North Carolina, went to Wisconsin, balled out in Wisconsin, and then to go third round was, you know, quite disrespectful. He comes into the league and he just blazes the league from the time he steps in the league. You
missed a little tidbit about it too when he got to the league.
Okay, go ahead. Add on.
Seattle, who just paid a guy,
Alex Smith.
No, not Alex Smith.
No, Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn,
excuse me. That's right. Thank you.
He played in week 17 in Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers, because they rested Aaron Rodgers and he threw 6 touchdowns in one game in his only start. They gave him $63 million to come to Seattle for one game.
Hold. Where does that happen?
In America.
Quarterback balls out one game and gets what kind of deal?
He got a $63 million deal, but like $30 million of it was guaranteed, right? So he ended up losing his starting job in preseason that same year to Russell Wilson.
Wow.
He never started.
Yeah. So just to give you the background on Russell Wilson and how he just, he has constantly met and exceeded expectation. So you would think, he's in his 8th season.
Yeah.
You would think that he'd have some say-so with this organization, especially considering up until that point, Pete Carroll was a losing coach. He had a losing record.
Yeah. In his prior stops.
Yeah.
When he was a New England Patriot coach, he was.
Yeah, and New York Jets. And New York Jet coach. He was a subpar coach who, did well on the college level.
Yeah, he was a great college coach.
Yeah, but considering how many times he bumped his head, it's amazing he got a 3rd chance. Russell Wilson has kind of made him this guy.
Yeah, made man.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens if Russell Wilson does leave Seattle. Yep. So okay. So let me see where we going.
There's one more thing about the
add on.
So they want to pay JJ Watt $16 million a year. Teams are offering him that. I don't know if that's smoked by his agent, but the fact of the matter, if JJ Watt signs a $16 million deal anywhere, that's a travesty in football. No disrespect to JJ Watt, but the $16 million days are way past him. So, 1 year, $16 million, whatever they're talking about. I think that might be agent smoke to try to drive the price. But if that man gets that much money, you got a problem in football.
Yeah, because you're really paying him on what he did and not what he could possibly be expected to do at this point in his career after the injuries.
If Houston wanted to do that, I have no problem with it.
Right.
For another team to do that.
But for him to go on the open market and catch that type of deal, again, there's a certain privilege that's associated with,
No, that's not happening. That shouldn't happen. But I think we're pretty much done with the NFL because the NBA is starting to get interesting.
Very interesting. So, man, before we hop in, really, I just want to say I was wrong on Steph Curry. Steph Curry's balling out. He's doing his thing. Yeah. He seems like he's nowhere near any type of wall at all.
No, he's not on a wall. I think with me, I think Steph Curry's great. It's just I like to see he's an 8th seed right now, and he's a 2-time MVP. I need to see a 2-time MVP take a team into the postseason. That's all. Not win. I just said, can you be an 8th seed or better? That's all. Get there.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's very fair. I'm with that. And in terms of LeBron hitting a wall, not this year, but because AD is out, AD and Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah.
I can't really see much happening until they come back, and AD is so fragile right now.
Yeah.
I just don't think it looks good, and I don't think LeBron can do it by himself.
Man, AD getting hurt is big because I believe that as much as I think AD doesn't have the desire, I think a lot of it has to do with the short turnaround. And I think AD was hurt in the playoffs last year, and he never really got a chance to heal. And he couldn't really rest up, like have a normal offseason. And type of body he has, as frail as it is, he needs some downtime. So, but then you got to go back to, I think no one expected my man to be Marc Gasol to be so done.
Yeah. Well, but that's that's kind of I'm gonna blame that on. I don't know if that's a LeBron pickup or if that's a Pelinka pickup.
No, I think it's a Pelinka. I think it's a Vogel era. I think that he can play still, but just not in this system. I don't think the Lakers system fits his game. I don't even think they use him right, to be honest with you. But defensively, he's just not right for their scheme, the way Vogel plays defense. So, I mean, I look at a lot of their games, and it just looks like he's just not being properly utilized. And you talked about it before. Now it's time for Kyle Kuzma to step up, right? So been watching his last 2 games.
I'm not really. I just don't think. I think Kuzma's is a role player. I think we can't really expect him to be that number 2 scorer night in and night out. I think that every so often he will light you up. He can light you up. Yeah. I think his one-on-one game, he's a good one-on-one guy, but
he's a street player. He's a street player, and he doesn't play well with ball dominant people. That's his game. He needs to play free of LeBron. He could probably play better with AD than LeBron, but somebody that's ball dominant, Kuzma's not going to stay. He doesn't want to stand there and wait for 3-point shots. So, and that's what you got to do. You got to be ready to do in that system,
right?
For the most part.
Okay, and let's switch over to the East right now. Yeah. Brooklyn is spanking jokers around. Big shout out to Attica J. Torrance. I see you, son. Brooklyn
is balling.
Yeah, Brooklyn's balling.
You know what, man? Kyrie Irving, and this is what people don't understand, right? If Kyrie wasn't so off the court psycho, he would get so much more credit because the brother does things I have never seen people do like in a long time. Like Kyrie Irving's game is ridiculous. And I think the fact that people don't like him, it causes them not to recognize what he's really actually doing.
He's like a toy, like wind up, like he's a video. He's the video game. He's a video game.
He could do street ball stuff in real time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you watch him play, and he can get to any spot on the court anytime he wants, any way he wants. And like I said, I just think the fact that people don't like him around the game, out like the media and stuff like that, and
he makes himself out
there. But again, when you step on the court in the 90 feet, it shouldn't matter who you are off the court. It's who you are on it.
Well,
and he's a beast on it. Period.
That is a great point. You're so right. And
beast on it.
Like you can feel how you want to feel about Kyrie Irving, his comments, his weird comments, his whatever.
On the court,
on the court, he's unstoppable. I don't know who can stop him.
He's a problem. Period.
He's getting to the hole when he wants. He's Steph Curry 3-ing you from deep.
Yep.
He's great under pressure. He's phenomenal under pressure. So yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting. And James Harden, what he's doing at the point position is
James Harden is another one, man. He's another freak of nature with his offensively, and he's just unguardable. But I don't feel like I just think that James Harden is a difference maker, but he don't want to do heavy lifting. Kyrie's not afraid of the moment. Is a difference between the two. See, Kyrie wants the moment. James Harden wanna just ride shotgun. That's his thing. He don't want to be the driver. He just wants to ride shotgun. And he got driver game.
Yeah, but that monster sitting on the bench right now, waiting to come back, KD is like, oh my God, like it's total. So listen, we 724 in. I don't want to keep the guests too, but we can continue this conversation. Hopefully, with Half Man, Half Amazing. Let's bring him in. The God, basketball legend, Half Man, Half Amazing, the original Half Man, Half Amazing. Peace, God.
Yes, sir. Peace. What's going on, legends? Respect,
man.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, man. So when Main Event, opened up the Rolodex, bro. And he said, "Let me connect you to Half Man, Half Amazing." It's like one of them things you just like, that's what I'm talking about, son. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Like, shout out to my lungy Main, man. That's my guy right there.
Yeah,
respect,
brother.
Main Event, boy.
Yes, sir. And I'm hip hop, bro. I'm hip hop, tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, hip hop. And in the 90s, street ball, what you guys were able to do about really creating a platform for a lot of young artists. You stood out. You know what I mean? So, just for the folks to know, let people know who you are, how you got involved in street ball, like your whole basketball history. Let people know who you are.
All right. First of all, appreciate y'all having me on the show, man. Really appreciate it. All right. Real name, Anthony Hayward Jr., born and raised, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. I was into sports when I was younger, but my first love was baseball. I played Little League Baseball in Bed-Stuy for the Bomber League in Tompkins Park. There was a park right across the street, 256 Park, Benjamin Banneker Elementary School, which is where I went as a child up until the 6th grade, 1st to 6th grade. Didn't really play basketball, didn't really try to start playing basketball till I was maybe 12 or 13. Played a little bit in junior high school, but wasn't really into it. I was still loving playing basketball. Little league basketball, little league baseball slowed up a little bit. Funding was going down. I started sprouting, getting too big for the uniforms. And one day I was walking across the street from 256, the park I was just telling you about. And I was maybe 13 or 14. I sprouted up to about 6'2", 6'3". So I was walking across the street from the park, and a guy in the park, my man P, Prentice Smith, aka Shot, he saw us walking down the block, and he just asked if we were interested in playing basketball. Me myself, I was like, nah, it's not really my thing. But he spoke to us for a few minutes, got us to come out there and play. And these were older heads, like I just said, I was 13, 14. These guys were maybe between anywhere from 23 all the way up to 28. So these guys were, my OGs. So they went out there and played with them. Couldn't really play, but I was athletic. So I was able to run up and down the court, get rebounds, block shots, and things of that nature. And, OGs really liked me, and they took me under their wing. My man P, Artie Moe, all the Scurry brothers, Paul, Carey, Mo Scurry, who went to UNLV, Kev, Russ, all my OGs off of NA Rock and Bed-Stuy. They took me under their wing, beat me up, roughed me up on the court. Didn't really understand what that was all about in the beginning. Didn't like it. And every time I left the park upset, wanting to fight, but I came back every day. And so, eventually playing with the older heads, you progress a lot quicker. So my game just blossomed in maybe from the age of 15, 16 till I was about 18, 19. In that little gap right there, my game really blossomed a lot. And P took me to this guy named Kenny, who was ran a team called the Kenny Kings in Brooklyn. Ended up joining that team. Kenny Kings, we were like, if not the dominant team, one of the most dominant teams in Brooklyn at the time, early 90s, all the way up to the 2000s. We was just killing everywhere, Soul in the Hole, housing tournaments, Marcy, any Tompkins, anywhere. We was everywhere killing. And just played with them for a little while in Brooklyn, sprouted out, started to network with some other teams, and that helped get my reputation out there, because anytime anybody asked me to play, I didn't say no. I was just like, where's that? And if I could get there, I got there. So progress a little bit. I was playing in LG, Lafayette Gardens. That's a housing project in Bed-Stuy. I was playing in LG, and there was an older guy watching me play by the name of Les Pilgrim. Pops, rest in peace. That's my mentor, my surrogate father. He helped me in ways I would never be able to thank him for. But he watched me play that day, and, he came out on the court and he approached me. He was like, hey, man, I've been watching you play. You ever thought about going to school? Like, nah, man, it's not really my thing. I went to a junior college, Farmingdale in Long Island, for a semester, but, I wasn't focused, and school just wasn't my thing at the time. So he's like, listen, man, I could, I watched the game. I could help you. You give me a couple of years, I could help you go pro. So he said, that word pro, that's what clicked in my head. So I said, okay. He was the assistant coach at Pratt Institute, which was right across the street from LG, where I played at, Division III school. So I ended up going there. I went there for 2 years from 92 to 94. And the things he helped me with and the things he taught me were just incredible. And, to this day, I try to represent him to the best of my ability. I played Division III ball, set a lot of records there. I was 8-time ECAC Division Player of the Week 8 times in one season, which is a record. Then in between that, I was still playing, summer ball, and one of my teammates was Charles Jones. You know, LIU, two-time college NCAA scoring leader, played in the NBA. He was playing uptown with a guy named Mousy at Rucker for Mousy's dream team. And Mousy was looking for a big man. So Charles Jones told him, he said, I know a guy. He's not a big man, but he plays like one. He was talking about me.
What year was this?
This was, I'll probably say maybe 93. It was either 93 or 94, one of those years. But it was the early 90s. Yeah. So he brought Mousy down to Kingston to watch me play. And I had a monster game, and Mousy came right up to me. He was like, yo, we got a game this day. Can you make it? I was like, cool. So, you know, CJ, aka Young of the Restless, he's the one that got me up to Rucker, playing in the EBC. And going up there, that's where I met Main Event.
Yeah. And,
you know, it was kind of like instant chemistry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Rest in peace, Greg Marius.
Yes, rest in peace, Greg. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but yeah. It was like instant chemistry between me and Main Event. And then 94, that was my last year at Pratt after my 2 years. And, you know, Les told me, you know, there's nothing more I can teach you. I think you're ready. So my first year in 94, he sent me overseas. That was my first job, playing pro overseas in Finland. And from there, I played in Finland. I played 2 years in Uruguay in South America, where I won a championship down there. I played in the EBA, the ABA, the USBL. You know, I played a lot of the minor league pros.
Well, right, since we right there, right? Can you talk about some of the difference between the European game and the American game? You know, because we know what the American basketball is like, but you go over Europe, there are different, you know, sort of different rules to the game. The court is a little different. The energy is different. Yeah, talk about some of that, those experiences.
Yeah, well, back in the early 90s, playing overseas, it was really rough, because going overseas, when they send you overseas in certain places, there's only one spot on the roster for the American. But you get over there and you find out they done flew in 2 or 3 other Americans just in case you don't work out. You know, so you have to really be on your A game when you get out there. Like for me, when I first went overseas, the guys in Finland, the coaches in them, they met me at the airport, you know. And in Finland at the time, you could have 2 American players. The other American, my OG, Nestor Payne, he didn't make it there yet. So I was over there by myself. They saw me getting off the plane. They wanted to send me right back home, coming off the plane, because they said I was too small. They said, no, we want big American. He's too small. They were ready to get a ticket and send me right back there. So they called my guy Kev. He was also a player for Les Pilgrim. He's the one that got me the job over there. They called him and tell him, like, listen, we're ready to send this guy home. He's too small. We was looking for a 6'10" guy. So he negotiated, listen, y'all got a couple exhibition games, let them play those, and then you can make your decision from there. So they agreed. The first exhibition game was against the Russian national team. Now this, I'll show you. The shortest guy on the Russian team was the American.
Crazy.
You know, and he was 6'5", playing point guard. I'm 6'6". I was going over there to play power forward.
Wow.
So you see the difference.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So, and their front line, big Russians, 7 feet, 6'11". And like I said, my other American, my homeboy, he wasn't there yet. And the biggest Finnish guy we had other than me was 6'8", maybe 240, but he was out of shape. And over there, the top sport was soccer, so they weren't really focused on playing basketball.
Yeah,
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? So we get in the gym. I get to, you know, I had worked out against them in practice, so they knew I could play a little bit. We get in the gym, get ready for the tip-off in our home gym. Our own crowd starts laughing at me because they're looking at the height disparity between me and a guy I'm about to jump ball with.
You about to work this dude. You about to work this dude.
Man, you have no idea. So prior to the game, our point guard, his name was Yuri Lehtinen. I'll never forget him. He had a little flavor in his game. So I was telling like, listen, man, if you ever see me point, just throw it. And he was like, what? I said, just throw it. If you see me point, just throw it. So referee throws the ball up. I get the tip. Crowd goes, ooh. So I'm like, yeah, y'all about to see something. So game's going on. We get off on a fast break. I'm running. Yuri's at 3/4 court. I got the 2 Russian guys running with me on the court. I tell him to throw it. He throws a 3/4 alley-oop. Needless to say,
we got that.
we all went up. Them 2 came down. I kept going up. Caught it, cocked it on my back. Yeah! So I went off the rest of the game. As soon as the game was over, they came to me right with the contract on the court. Can you sign right here? So European basketball is real cutthroat. If they do not like you, they will send you home immediately.
Wow.
Immediately. Mm-hmm. I had to earn all my jobs overseas, just like that.
Well, how many points you had that game? Do you remember?
I had about 28, 14 rebounds, and like 7 blocks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Half man, half amazing.
So they were very surprised.
That's amazing, God. That's amazing.
No doubt.
Okay, so all right. After European basketball and West, hop in, man. If you got something concoct, just let it off.
I wanted to ask about Charles Jones. Did he always go to LIU? I thought did he transfer to LIU?
No, as far as I know, that's where he went.
Okay, yeah, because I knew Charles was, and I always thought he went. I knew he ended up at LIU,
as far as I know, that's where he went.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so after European ball, now where we at?
European ball, going back and forth between there, and playing summer ball. I'll say I played it for about 5 years overseas, and after that, I came back home, and that's when I started playing in the minor league pros, the USBL, EBA, the ABA, and I also started to become an assistant teacher. I started working in the educational system.
Great, that's what I'm talking
I started working at Hawthorne, Cedar Knolls in upstate New York. I was an assistant teacher up there. So I was doing that at the same time playing in the EBA. So I was a teacher playing semi-pro ball.
Yeah.
And I did that for a little while, for about 1.5 years there. I worked up there. Then I transferred down to the New York City Board of Education. And I became a crisis para, 101 para in the special ed department, working there, teaching special ed department, kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade, math and science. And I did that for a little more than a decade. At the same time, juggling that and basketball. So, that was very gratifying working with the kids like that.
Yeah.
Because
I was a school teacher, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I taught junior high school from 1990 to 94.
Okay.
I met KRS because I was teaching, young folks, and then taking them to, extracurricular activities, KRS-One lectures. That's how we met.
Excellent.
That's how we met. Yeah. So I definitely applaud your work with young people in education. You know what I mean? Like that.
Appreciate
that's extremely important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And these basketball stories are phenomenal. Now, how'd you get involved with And1? How'd that whole thing come about?
The whole And1 thing came about. Well, And1 was for a couple of summers, they sponsored the tournament at EBC with, T-shirts and the uniforms and things like that. So I guess at some point in time, they had approached Main Event in some form or fashion. And I'm not sure if it was before a game or after a game, but he came to me and he said, might have something going on with And1, hold your head. I said, okay, cool. So maybe 10, 15 minutes later, Headache comes over to me and says the same thing. So I'm wondering what's going on, not knowing, but I'm like, okay, whatever. So later on, And1 wants to have a sit down with us because Main Event put the whole team together. It was, the original team was Main, Shane, Headache, Future, aircraft, and I'll be right back and myself. Now, I'll be right back. He couldn't play because he couldn't play with us or sign a contract because he was going away to school, and that would have messed his eligibility up. Future ended up falling out with N1 after a little while, so we picked up some other guys after that. But the initial meeting, we were all in the room. Salute to the legend, Lord Finesse. He was there also, and Set Free. And it was informal meeting. Went out to eat, talked about what they wanted to do. They wanted us to help them promote their brand, go out on the road, go to a couple of cities, talk some smack to some guys at some parks to set up some games. So we were already doing that because Maine and Shane, they were going on the road doing games, and then they put me on to going on the road with them. So when they asked us to do this, we were like, wait, we already been doing this. So now y'all want to pay us to do this? Fine, we'll go out there and smash cats. Not a problem.
Yeah.
So the first 4 initial games after the Linden game, the games after that were great. DC, Cali, we were loving it. Chicago, we were going to the city, ask where the top players was and whatever park it was. We'd go over to the park, walk around the park, watch the guys play, comment on their play. Once we see we get their goat, okay, if you think you can beat us, we're going to be over in this gym over here, such and such. Come on over here, such and such time. Whoever you think is nice, bring them, and they going to get it. All right, we're going to see y'all. We're going to be there. We're going to be there. And that's pretty much how it went down the first year. And that first year was it was great with those games because the promotion, we did it ourselves. We did it ourselves.
So somebody's blowing you up, the true story, and said if you don't mention our 2 Soul in the Hole championships, you better not come back to the Star.
Listen, man, nobody's ever going to talk to me about not coming back to where I came from. You know what I mean? But since you want to put it like that, yeah, Soul in the Hole, man, Soul in the Hole was, in terms of tournaments, the heartbeat of Brooklyn, man, back in the day. If you came to Brooklyn to play, Soul in the Hole was the place to come and play. It was down and it was like a pit. It was almost like a pit. People standing up on the sidewalk, looking down on the court. Court is cracks is everywhere. It's almost like playing in the old Boston Garden. If you didn't know where the dead spots was,
he was in trouble.
You was in trouble. You know what I mean? And Soul in the Hole was one of the spots that helped me develop my rep. You know what I mean? And we went out there and we had some wars in Soul in the Hole, man. Wars.
The dope shit about street ball is that it's a culture. It's a life, it's a lifestyle. Right. And growing up, I'm an old dude in the 70s, 80s.
Indeed.
You hear people go, you better have a plan A, B, and C. You mean that, but I don't know what you're going. He played ball, but and then if you're not gonna make the NBA, it's kind of like this far distant. But to see you guys organize the culture into a whole nother professional lane that created a wave for other people to follow. How do you feel? How do you feel about that?
It's a wonderful feeling, man. It's a great feeling because as it was happening, you don't realize the potential in opening doors and creating opportunities for other people. You don't realize that as you go through it. But if you're a smart person, you can recognize it later on as you're going through it and know that, to know that you had a hand in helping people who otherwise it might have taken a longer time to accomplish something. They can get to a spot a little quicker than they normally would have. Is a great feeling. So, I'm proud of that. I will never forget it. I'll take it to my grave as, one of my greatest achievements. And, you know, I'm just thankful that I had the opportunity to do it.
Now I got a quick question. I always thought that the stuff that you guys did in streetball is not even comparable. I mean, I think you did a lot more than the X Games, you know, and the way I see the X Games had a channel and the way it just took fire, and I just felt like you guys had more of an impact culturally. It just bugged me out. I was like, this is like better than the X Games, but it just didn't. It just didn't take off like I mean, it took off. Don't get me wrong, but I just felt like it should have been more. It should have been.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But the dope shit about it is that it's such a cultural lifestyle thing, right? That there's always the opportunities to you know, create the next thing.
Yep.
You know,
I mean, look. It's been, the last time I dealt with N1 was maybe 2005, 2006, and because of that and other things, in 2021, I'm sitting here talking to you.
Yes, absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah,
you understand?
Yeah.
So even though it should have took off way more than it did.
It took off. It did.
Don't get me wrong. It took off.
Like the exposure that got, I felt like this was just equally as dominant. That's what I'm trying to say.
Indeed. No, that's the same thing I was going to say. I was going to say the exact same thing. But you know, it allowed a lot of people, you know, a lot of the ball players that I met to divert into other opportunities and continue doing whatever it is that they were interested in doing. It's giving them opportunities. So, you know, that's definitely a blessing. And to have a hand in that, you know, I feel privileged and grateful.
All right, so I want to shift gears right fast, since we got a basketball legend in the building. Who you rocking with right now? Who you got for the season? There it is. Brooklyn says it all.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. And I'm not even gonna play myself. I've been a long time Laker fans ever since Magic. But when the Nets came to, well, not even when they came to Brooklyn, I'll say when I fell in love with the Nets was when they drafted Derek Coleman, which was my favorite college player. You know, when they drafted Derek Coleman, I immediately became a Nets fan. They got Kenny Anderson, became a Nets fan.
Big shout out to my man Derek Coleman, DC, man.
Yes.
Derek Coleman was
fun fact. I tell cats this all the time.
Yeah.
I tell cats this all the time. The only dude in the NBA to dunk it on Shaq. Nobody else has dunked it on Shaq in the NBA. Only Derek Coleman.
Attica says or asks, how do you feel or how you felt when Kenny Smith came to New York City, heard his name and bestowed it upon Vince Carter? Laugh out loud. Brooklyn folks and New Yorkers know.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
So, all right, before we go there, you got to explain how you got the name Half Man.
Okay.
You got to explain, give the whole context to it.
Okay. That came in Rucker also, EBC. Shout out to Duke and Tango, the Mike Man, when I was playing up there. My childhood nickname is Biz. So when I came up there, that's how they knew me as, Biz. Didn't really know me. Skinny kid from Brooklyn coming out there playing hard. So for, I don't know, maybe a game or two, it was kind of difficult with them for to remember my name. It was like, okay, give that basket to, what's the name again? Get that basket to Biz. Nobody can, nobody will. So, you know, they started coming up with something for me, you know, kind of like Biz Markie. Nobody can, nobody will. Beat the Biz. So it was maybe the second game up there. We were on a break because they already knew from the first game I play hard, I rebound, got a little bit of hops and all that stuff. So we were on a break and I got a pass on a break, a drop off on a fast break. And a dude's about 6'8", 6'9". I don't really remember who it was. He tried to take a charge. Bad move. Bang! They were like, give that back. Oh my God. Did you see what Biz? And for some reason, they were like, no, we can't call him Biz no more. And from right there, they started calling me half man, half amazing. Now, at the time when they were saying it, I didn't know they were talking about me. So I just kept playing. Every time I get a rebound or I would score, I would hear that name. I'm like, yo, who are they talking about? You know, then after the game, like, yo, good game, half, good game, half. And then I realized,
good game, half.
I realized they was talking about me.
What year was this? What year?
This was probably, is like I said, 93, 94. 93, 94. Around there. You know, you understand? So from there on.
His card is nowhere to be. He's not in the picture.
Nah, he's probably in the 8th or 9th grade at this time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So after that, you know, a couple of games after that, funny story, I had a monster game up there. I go back down to Brooklyn. You know, back in the day, there was no cell phone. So the grapevine was if somebody called a crib or you spoke to somebody or you got paid, then you called it back on a payphone or something like that. You know what I'm saying? There was no cell phones. So the news would get back home before you most of the time. Mm-hmm. So I get back home after a game. I'm going to the store. One of my boys come up to me. He's like, yo, son, I just came back from the Rucker. Yo, this kid half man, half amazing. He was doing work. He was grabbing rebounds. He was dunking and doing all this. So I'm sitting there looking at him like, oh, word? So then it clicked in my head. I'm like, yo, he didn't even realize that he was watching me.
Wow.
So he came back to Brooklyn to talk to me about me.
Wow. That's dope.
And you heard what you just said? Wow. That's exactly what I said in my head. Wow. Yo, the Rucker is real when it comes to reputation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, wow, he didn't even realize he was watching me play.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope. That's amazing.
Yeah, it bugged me out.
That's amazing, God. No doubt. That's amazing. Man, Wes, you got anything for the amazing half man, half amazing?
I'm like just listening because I grew up on all of it, around basketball the whole time. My grandmother lived in the Polo Grounds.
Right.
So, right across the street.
Yeah.
Raised in it a few times, it was crazy. The time was crazy.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Talk about Kobe coming to the Rucker. Were you there?
No, I wasn't there. I wish I could have been there.
I was there. Oh,
there was a time prior to that when I was playing with Mousie's Dream Team, where we had a game and Puff was supposed to bring Kobe, but so many people were in the park that the game got canceled. So the rumor was Puff was bringing Kobe to the park to play against us. We don't know how true it was. He said he had Kobe in a limo and they was on the way, but the game got canceled because there was too many people in the park. So that was a rumor that we were going to have to play against Kobe one time. But when Kobe came and played, I wasn't there.
So what's the biggest name you've played against?
Wow. Biggest name I've played against. Let's see, I've played against Joe Smith. I've played against Charles Jones. NBA players. I've played against man, there's too many to name. Master Rob.
What's the biggest name you flushed it on?
And
who'd you get like, you know what I mean, hanging on the like
the biggest name I flushed it on. You probably have to be my man McNasty, God bless the dead. Conrad McRae.
Conrad McRae. Okay. Serious.
Yeah. Yep. God bless the dead. Yeah, it was the EBC All-Star game at Riverside Park. There was the coach. He put out a money bag on Rad. He was like, yo, whoever get Rad, I got this bag for you real quick. So
damn, streetball.
Once he said that, me and Main Event was looking at each other like it's on now, B. If you don't get him, I'm gonna get him.
Wow.
So Main tried about 3 or 4 different times to try to get Rad, doing some crazy dunks. Kept missing them. I tried one time on Rad. He plastered mines. He come off the, shots come off the backboard. Rag came off the rebound one time on my neck. So then we come down. I get the ball on the side one time, and I come right to the rim. Rad tries to pin it. Caught him. Yak! Yo, time out. Yo, let me get that. Game over. Put that right in my pocket and went back to playing ball.
Wow. Yo, main event is in the building.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Main and Shane show, no doubt.
I made the pass. Yeah. Trying to take credit. Main and Shane, my dudes. What's up, Lungies?
Yeah,
Love y'all, man. Love y'all.
Everybody reminiscing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yo, so yeah, I tell you, when I let people know, we put up the flyer, half amazing is gonna be. Yo, the comments was like, word, oh man, I'm in. Oh, you gotta let me know when that's going down. So
that's what's up. That's love. That's love.
Y'all, man, it rings bells, and we appreciate you stopping through the Madism, sports platform to share some. Wes, you got anything else for half?
Nah, I'm just like I said. He just brought everybody back.
Yeah.
Let me do this for y'all. I'll address the Kenny Smith thing real quick.
Yeah, please.
All right. First of all, Kenny Smith was a cornball for that. I'll put that out there real quick. Mm-hmm. And Vince was even more of a cornball for accepting it for the time that he did, because Vince knew who I was, even though he didn't know me. But sitting in the house down in Brooklyn, watching the dunk contest, 2000 dunk contest. Vince first dunk was crazy. So I'm like, ooh. So I hear Kenny, no, it's time to go home. It's over. Then he says, half man, half amazing. I looked at the TV like, nah, he didn't just say that.
Yes, he did.
Kenny.
Yes, we did.
He didn't just say that.
Kenny.
So then maybe 5 minutes later, well, like I said, we didn't have cell phones. They call your crib. My phone starts ringing. Hello? Yo, son, you heard Kenny Smith just say, yo, he violated me, yo. Yo, son, I can't believe he did that. I'm like, yeah, man, don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. But I've never
addressed it ever. He never said anything.
Nah. What's funny? He did say something about it vaguely earlier this season, because he has mentioned it on the TNT NBA show every once in a while.
Yeah.
But just recently, last season, before the bubble, he said something about it. He said, this was when they were talking about Vince Carter retiring.
Yeah.
And he was saying, yeah, he said his name. He was like, yeah, when I went up to Ruck and I heard the name Half Man, Half Amazing, I said, nah, man. This name is too big for this park. I got to take it to the NBA. So I'm like, what? What are you talking about? But I never really flipped out, because I already know he is, in terms of that, he's an NBA historian. He's not a basketball historian. So he's trying to front a little bit. Basketball historians know who Half Man, Half Amazing is. NBA historians think they know who Half Man, Half Amazing is.
Well, we know who Half Amazing.
Right.
We definitely know who the official Half Man, Half Amazing is, and he's sitting with us right here on Madism Sports.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, man. We appreciate you so much for coming through, bro.
I got one more question though. Did you play it in the arena on Brevoort?
Oh yes. In the Coliseum? Yes.
I lived on Bainbridge Street. My dad, I still got a house on Bainbridge Street now.
Yeah, my family's on Chauncey. I got family, my aunts and them still live on Chauncey.
Brooklyn,
yeah, I was funny. I was the reason why they had to change one of the backboards in the Coliseum.
Okay.
Remember in the Coliseum, they had the wood backboards on the pole.
Yeah.
They didn't have the backboards that came out onto the court. They had
it's all wood.
Dunked it so hard one time, knocked the bolts out the back of that thing there. You hear me?
Half Man, Half Amazing, God.
So loosened it all up, so they had to change the whole thing.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Coliseum. Woo, you just took me back with the Coliseum, baby.
See, this street ball shit is like for real. Like, it's not just playing basketball in the park. Like, it's a cultural phenomenon.
Yes, indeed.
It's a very important part of American culture.
Indeed.
And people need to recognize, man.
A lot of people have to realize a lot of these guys that you watching right now on TV that you want to emulate. Where you think they started at? In the parks, in the gyms. That's where they started at.
Well,
You know,
what's your knowledge of the Harlem Globetrotters?
Always been a respect of what they did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
in terms of handles, where would you put Marcus Haynes?
Oh, one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best.
Yeah, he's just the culture of basketball is so ingrained in America, but we got to recognize, who gives birth to the style and the flair.
Yep.
Listen, you have to understand
who gives it the flavor.
You have to understand it takes skill to run down the court and then slide and continuously dribble the ball while you're sliding. You can't just go out and do that. You understand? So Harlem Globetrotters, regardless of what you may think about them, you have to respect them. You have to respect them.
Mm-hmm. Like the ball got to go in at the end of the day.
Yeah, the ball got to go in. The ball got to go in. Somebody has to shoot it. Somebody has to pass it. Somebody has to grab the rebound. Mm-hmm. It has to be a unit.
But there's a skill set that's associated with basketball that's so beyond just what the NBA is. And once again, salute to you guys who just keep that culture alive. Keep it fresh. Because there's a whole nother business to this thing that we continue to manifest, and it's because of guys like you have. So
I appreciate that, man.
Salute, bro. Nah, respect. Half man, half amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Half man, half amazing. No doubt. Respect.
Love, my guys.
Appreciate you coming out, man.
All right, man. Guys, keep doing what you're doing. Respect to the legends, man. Love.
Let people know how they can follow you, though.
Okay, you can hit me up on OG half man _ half amazing at Instagram.
There it is. Thank you,
That's
sir.
That's where I'm at.
Yes,
all
sir.
Right. Salute to the gods, man.
One love,
respect
peace,
y'all
God.
Legends, man.
Yes, sir.
That was all right.
That was dope. That was real dope. Just the legends. Fucking
Attica's putting a point out that there's a documentary on Brevoort Midget League called The Love of Eggs. Gotta check it out. I'm like all over that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, hold on, let's put that up right there. This is right here. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Right
yeah,
there.
man.
But yeah, that was some good stuff, man. That was some good stuff.
Yep. So okay, we're gonna bring in the Zatch Master, aka Spliffy Allen. And he's got a little setup that I think we're gonna get into something new that we try to add to the flavor that was sparked by a conversation we had earlier in the week. So let's see what Uncle Cliffy has for us. Uncle Spliffy, what's going on, bro?
Hakeem. Yo, what's good? What's good, Wes?
Zatch.
Chilling. What's up, man?
All good, man. I was having a conversation yesterday, and do you realize that the top 25 in college basketball, this is the first time that it doesn't include Kansas, Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke, or Michigan State?
Yeah. And all the blue bloods are pretty much out and about, getting ready to watch the dance at home. But Duke is surging, so watch out for them.
Yeah.
So, why do you think that is, Wes?
I think that the one and done is hurting those teams, recruiting wise, and and just overall, because good players that want to go to college maybe more than 1 year, or guys that say I'm an NBA draft pick, but maybe not a one and done. I want to play college basketball for a few years. They don't want to go play with one and done guys because they might want to win a championship. But the other side of it, if you look at college basketball this year, it's not a good product either. It looks like glorified high school basketball. I'm just saying. It's just not it's not as great as it was in prior years. And I just feel like the AAU is just killing it because people focus on that for the NBA.
Yeah, but you're still not gonna beat the exposure that you get with playing college basketball. You're absolutely right as far as the product, and that's because of COVID. You know, these teams didn't play, and then they have to take breaks during the season, and there's zero practice time. So yeah, it was definitely a different year. But there's good basketball to be played. Some of these teams,
the Michigan game was great. The Michigan Ohio State game, that was a great game. Yeah. But I'm just saying overall, because of the cancellations, like you said, with COVID and everything like that, it just hasn't been as the product hasn't been A1 like it used to be. I expect big things in the tournament, though.
Yeah, well, listen, I see a question on a thing that says the NIT is going to be lit. That was actually canceled, so there is no NIT this year.
There's no NIT.
They canceled that last week sometime.
Okay.
So the NCAA tournament, and to be honest with you, I didn't even really know complete clarity on how they're doing the conference tournaments. Because obviously they're selected.
How hurt I was hurt by last year's tournament because Rutgers hadn't been in the NCAA tournament since I was in school.
And they balled out. And now it doesn't look like this year they'll make it. I mean, because they fall apart. They started off strong, but they fallen off basically the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, it's crazy. Okay, well, Cliffy, where we at? Spliffy.
Well, you want me to get into
let's go there.
To the debate question?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
you got to preface the whole segment too. It's a segment we want to add.
Well, a segment we want to add, and basically, the two hosts, Hakeem and Wes, will have the opportunity of actually posing a question, whether it'll be Hawk asking Wes, Hawk asking me, Wes asking me, or actually either one of you talking to the actual guest about it. Okay. But again, we definitely want the audience feedback, and we want to take a position. Basically, call it. It's going to be along the lines of hot topics, and we want to actually have a debate question, something that's relevant, that's possibly going on, that we may want to have two different perspectives on it. Okay. And depending on how you want to set it up or whatever. Hawk actually told me something today. He gave me a question that actually would kind of this is something that the audience would certainly love to chime in on. And since you and Hawk, take two different positions on it, I would say we can pose that, and that's the Kobe question.
Okay.
Basically, if and I should say a Kobe question, and that is the Lakers Sixers championship series with Shaq, and in regard to if you was to swap players on that team, and you put Shaq on the
Sixers.
Yep. And with Allen Iverson, who wins that chip? And basically the premise of the question, what I'm revolving this around is, how pivotal is Kobe in the whole ring thing?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, ask me, Shaq, he was playing at a point in his career which he couldn't be stopped. You get a good, basically a two guard, and he's going to do his thing. Mm-hmm. So the question I ask both of y'all, if you flip flop them, does Shaq carry that championship over to Philly?
Yeah.
Or do the Lakers still win it?
I don't even think it's a debate. I think Philadelphia wins the championship.
Yeah, I just think a Shaquille O'Neal, Allen Iverson combination would probably be the most dangerous thing in sports at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Allen Iverson is probably the only two guard based on his skill set and what's underneath his shirt that we can make this argument about. Allen Iverson is the one guy that I would definitely agree that if Shaq played with Allen Iverson, Shaq would win a championship with Allen Iverson. Dwayne Wade is cut from the same cloth. That's why he won it.
Now, to that point, that Shaquille O'Neal wasn't the Lakers Shaquille O'Neal.
No, but
even though he won a chip,
when I go back to the Lakers Shaquille O'Neal with Allen Iverson, we'd have to see. I do think Philly would win. But what I think we're missing is that Kobe closed all the games. Shaq could not be going to. You couldn't even go to Shaq in the fourth quarter because there was a play called, I think they call it Hacker Shaq, because he could not make free throws. And Kobe Bryant set a record in the finals for shooting 63% in fourth quarters in the finals. Right. So again, we'd have to see what Allen Iverson would do in that same circumstance, because we know Allen Iverson wasn't known for his shooting percentage either. But I think he would probably be able to close it just as well because AI is cut from that same cloth.
Yeah, and he was always clutch.
I just think that Shaquille O'Neal, even with the Hacker Shaq, that Hacker Shaq, that going on, he was such a dominant force that it just allows other people, especially when you're in the ilk of Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson, you're gonna be able to live.
No, but I think the debate comes with those players. You can't lump Allen Iverson and Kobe Bryant. They're in that same realm as a Shaquille O'Neal because they were unstoppable too. That's the difference. They were there were two unstoppable forces, and when you put them together, it's just combustible. Like if you look at the Sacramento Kings series against LA was second seed that year. The Lakers don't win that series without Kobe in that series because Vlade Divac couldn't hold Shaq, but there was nobody on their roster that can guard Kobe either.
What about Derek Fisher and Big Shot?
Those were glorified role players. That's what I'm trying to say. When we're dumbing down Kobe's skill set because of Shaquille O'Neal's greatness, and I'm trying to say that they were both on that high level.
Yeah.
They were both.
But you still with Mutombo, Kobe's not winning the championship with Mutombo, no matter how. Because
no.
Because the game itself now is.
But we also do the same thing. We do the Kobe though. We also dumbed down and because Pau Gasol was 16-7 Memphis, and then when he came to LA, everybody's like, "Oh, Kobe had Pau Gasol." I didn't know 16-7 was like a great thing. So his skill set is being brought down, and Shaq makes everybody great. He's a big man.
But Shaq in Cleveland, that's
not Shaq. Shaq in Cleveland is not Shaq.
Even Shaq in Miami wasn't Shaq in LA.
But Shaq in Miami the first year, Shaq still averaged 25 a game. He still got 13 rebounds, so he was still pretty daggone dominant. He was done after that, but he was still there because he had something to prove, and he was playing for it because he was angry that the Lakers chose Kobe over him. I mean, he was still. That's why they won a championship.
Kobe was the future.
Yeah,
Kobe
for
LA at that point, Kobe was the future.
Kobe was ascending that time. He was actually, his game was maturing at a level when he spent those years with Shaq to ultimately get him to the greatness he ultimately turned out to be. But you know what I'm saying? He needed those years.
But Eddie Jones, the first 2.5 years, when I think they both came to LA in '95, I believe, if I'm correct, 95, 96 season.
Yep.
Kobe was a rookie. Shaq was a free agent from Orlando, right? Mm-hmm. They had Eddie Jones, and Kobe even talks about the fact that it killed him to have to come off the bench for like 2.5 years. Like he had to play behind Eddie Jones, somebody that he respected but knew he was better than. So, and they got rid of Eddie Jones. They traded him to Miami, and they had to take the leash off of him. And then Phil Jackson had to coach him down as well, because he was like, we got to go through Shaq. And it was right to go through Shaq. But in the fourth quarter, again, when you look at those series, the Portland game, everybody, if you watch that Portland game again, just look what happened in the Portland game. I mean, I'm just saying, so it's big. They win a championship, no doubt. And Shaq could go to he can go to Philadelphia and win with Allen Iverson. But I'm saying the way the scenario worked out, they don't win those games, even with Shaq and Kobe's greatness, without each other. That's my point.
Yeah, no doubt.
They don't win. I mean, look, if the Portland game is not good, they win 7 games against Portland and 7 games.
You know how I feel about championships in team basketball. Like, I don't care what nobody says. No one person is winning a team championship series. That's not going to happen. You need a full team effort. Mm-hmm. So in that, when you look at, what happened, yeah, Kobe was cooking. He was cooking, but you can't cook if you ain't at the stove.
Oh, listen, man, they all need each other. There's nobody that's won a championship without help. But what I'm saying is that with those 2 guys, we're talking about 2 ridiculously great guys. I mean, the Sacramento Kings, when they played against those 2 dudes, it was like they didn't know what to do because they had nobody on their roster that could guard either one of them. Yeah. And then the glorified role players, they're the ones who benefited. Mm-hmm. Robert Horry, Rick Fox, Derek Fisher, they benefited from those 2 guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
somebody's wilding in the comment being very distasteful. We're not even going to put that up.
Who's that? Yeah, no. Their few was crazy. But,
yeah. So,
I don't disagree with you about Allen Iverson.
Okay, there you go. So, sorry. So, Spliffy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What we looking at handicaps? You got any information? What's going on this week with that?
Well, the hot ticket to all week has been Brooklyn. They've been staying hot. They came off a West Coast road trip. They basically swept it. Not only did they sweep it, they covered every game. So and anyone out there again, if you have any problems with gambling or anything like that, please see someone. Any information I give is definitely just for entertainment purposes only. But the Nets have been getting low point spreads, low point for the past week and a half as they ascend. So even tonight they had a 8.5 point spread, which they're not covering. They're not doing too well on. But once Durant comes back, you're going to see them as double-digit favorites every night. Wow. So definitely jump on that. Obviously, Utah has been doing their thing. Actually, they set a record as far as covering. They covered 22 out of the last 24. And 19 of those within that was against the spreads too. Like everything. So they've been on fire. But again, look for you want your strong cover teams. Keep riding Utah. Keep riding the Nets.
Good looking.
I watched the Utah game last night. I know but they could play.
Oh yeah, they for real. Yeah. And the one thing about everybody again is waiting on AD. It may not matter. Utah is for real. They deep, and they actually just set a record. The only team to score, to hit 53 pointers in the last 2 games, and in any 2-game period. So I mean, they're doing their thing. They got the 6-man.
They play in a lot of different ways too, man. They can go up and down with people. They can play half court.
Half court, yeah.
And they play defense.
Donovan Mitchell is a beast. Gobert is a beast. They come to play, man.
They got Jordan Clarkson playing his best year.
God, yeah.
And they're talking about him 6-man of the year. So
Well, speaking of Clarkson, one of the other things we wanted to discuss was the success of all these players who were on the Lakers 3 years ago, who are you got Brandon Ingram, you got Randall,
Julius Randle,
Jordan Clarkson,
D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah. So I mean, what does that say about did they give up too early, or did the Lakers need to do what they needed to do when they did it? Did they give up too much? Did they, because AD, bro,
because that's why they did it. That's why they did it. But is it going to pay out? See, he was always light and always injury prone. And that was you got what you wanted out of him. Obviously, you got that chip last year. But now, okay, how healthy can you stay? You know what I'm saying? If he stays with LeBron, he's formidable. You know, they're going to be tough to beat. But again, how much ability are you going to show as being available? Because that's the best, most important ability, availability. And you can't count on that cat. That's the problem. So we'll see. I mean, all that talent they gave up, you're right, doing their thing. Brandon Ingram, all that, but that was their plan. They pulled it off. They got him. They got the chip. Let's see what they can get after this.
Wes, you want to chime in?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, when they with Ingram, Ball, and Josh Hart, the year they got rid of them, I think what people forget, the Lakers were surging right around Christmas when Lonzo and LeBron were playing together. They were all
LeBron got hurt.
And LeBron got hurt, but no, Lonzo got hurt first, and then Rondo got hurt. Lonzo and Rondo both got hurt. Then LeBron got hurt. Then Ingram got hurt, and then Kuzma got hurt. It was like 6 guys that were out, right?
Yeah.
So they got the chip, and they paid a premium in terms of talent for future talent for the chip. But I just think that team, they would have probably done better if if the injuries didn't happen, because they were surging. They were playing good basketball. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Derek Parks said they did what they had to do to get the chip, but sacrificed the long.
Yeah, they did. Exactly. Yeah. He's absolutely right. Everybody happy they got the chip, but I thought they misread, I think, a couple of those players.
Well, did you hear about the shot that Brandon Ingram took at LeBron, like a subliminal shot?
What did he
Basically, say? He said that Zion was the most talented player he's ever played with. He said that last night. Yeah. So,
man, Zion was shooting 72% from the floor the last 6 games.
Yeah. Have you watched him this year?
Yeah, and he's shooting threes.
Oh,
but it's like, LeBron's game is so much more than scoring points. Like, it's setting people up, putting people in position. Like, it's defense. It's a post game. Homeboy don't have a post game yet. He's so his skill set is drive to the basket. He's quick. His bounce is crazy. He's a monster, no doubt, but he still has a long way to go before he's the most skilled basketball player, talent or whatever. Come on, bro. Like, not yet. Maybe I'm not fronting on him. I'm not fronting, but not today. No.
That's the youngin. That's a young man that was mad and bitter.
Oh yeah,
And I'm not mad at Brandon Ingram either, though, because Brandon Ingram is nice.
He's very nice.
He's real nice.
I like his game a lot.
A lot of times when you put nice and nice, it's like 2 pretty girls at the party. It's the same thing. Somebody
gonna be jealous.
Somebody gonna be jealous.
Somebody jealous.
Yeah, and somebody gonna play and hate too.
Yeah, but it's what it is. It's like there's a business. There's a business to this, and a couple of the people in the chat said, they wanted the now. So
they want the now. You can't be mad at that.
And because of that, you're in a position now where you're playing along with Zion, which wouldn't have happened if they didn't let you go. Now you get to do your thing and be free of LeBron. You get to grow on your own, which is really what you want anyway. And you're playing alongside one of the, dopest young talents. So it all works out for you, Brandon Ingram. Keep your head up, bro. Chill. What do you think? What do you think of the Kyrie Irving little jab at LeBron? Last week when they played, LeBron shot a technical foul.
And he missed it.
And he missed it. And then Kyrie goes,
"He's the best."
He said, "This the best free throw shooter y'all got."
What I do? What I think about it? I love it. That's real basketball talk. That's what it is. That's what Kyrie Irving is cut from that cloth that we don't want to talk about. That's what I'm talking about.
And they go at each other just like that. They do. And they, clowning. You knew that would come out. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
But that's I don't.
Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Is that the best thing out? LeBron, come on, shooting free throws. Are you right? This cat? Come on now.
Yeah, he shot free throws last night. I'm like, why is he shooting technical for free throw? What is he doing shooting tech? Let somebody else shoot. Where's Caruso at? Yeah.
When they lost that overtime game, he missed a free throw, right? That would have put him up 1, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. LeBron shooting free throws. Okay.
Hating on my guy. Hating on my guy. Mind you, if he don't go back to Cleveland, Kyrie doesn't have a ring.
True. He knows that.
He knows that. Everybody knows that, to be honest.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway. So yeah, man, it's a dope week, bro. We got a lot covered, man. We got a lot covered. We had an amazing guest, literally an amazing guest. Half man, half.
So with that comment though, doesn't LeBron need Kyrie to win that championship too?
Yeah, okay.
Just asking. It's a rhetorical question. When you make the shot that wins the championship, I think
that's true. But if
they have to play together, because that's what you said, right? They have to.
No doubt. But if LeBron doesn't go back to Cleveland, Kyrie's not even. He's not even in the playoffs.
Yeah. It's not
even in the playoffs. Like
Kyrie is not. If Kyrie's not on the Cleveland Cavaliers, do they win that championship? That's all I'm asking.
We don't know. But what we do know is that if LeBron wasn't there, they wouldn't even be in the playoffs.
Yeah, because they had nobody. They had no talent on the team at all. I mean, period. Their team looked as good as it did when LeBron was playing by himself.
And they went to the chip.
Not in this.
Not every. I mean, but yeah.
That was Kyrie's second. Yes, I mean, both need it.
No doubt, because it's definitely a team sport. Definitely a team sport, right? But people set you up, like there's like a setup. So you set a person up, you put people in a position to be successful, and because of that, you're able to take the next level to even say, you know what, I want out of here, Cleveland. I'm going to Boston. Yeah. And you get to Boston, and you see what leadership really is, and realize, it's more than just on the court. It affects wins and losses. Yeah. So hopefully in Brooklyn, which it seems so far so good, it's all good, but it's like there's a lot of intangibles that go into the shit that's like kind of gets overlooked because people see the shot or the miss or the steal or the block, not realizing to even get to that point, man. Like that's
behind the scenes,
and that's part of the process.
Practice,
right? That's part of the attitude. Process, right?
Yeah, like a person like me, I probably wouldn't have made it to the championship with Kyrie because I'd have had beef with this nigga. They'd be like, what, get rid of this dude. Nah, you know what? Fuck this nigga taking these shots, backdoor me, like all the backdoor shit that we don't even catch wind of in the public is happening because they do have issues. So that's happening, and this guy has to just swallow it so we could win a championship. That we don't get there. Like there's so much that's like, bro, you wild out in Boston, and look what that got you. So the comments and the jabs and if that's who you are as a person, that's what you're going to do, whether it's LeBron, whether it's the Boston Celtics, because you take jabs.
That's what you do.
That's what you do. And that affects chemistry and how we can compete to, like when you look at a Scottie Pippen, man, dude swallowed a lot of stuff. Getting underpaid, being always the second man. He lost it on the bench. Luckily, Tony Kukoc hit the shot. But you look crazy. But he kind of had a point. But you look crazy. Anyway, I'm sorry.
It's a process, though, I guess, because the same things that Kyrie is experiencing in his stage of the game, I think LeBron might have done the same thing in Miami. Yeah. He was trying to stab Eric Spoelstra. He was counting 7. We'll win 1 chip, 3 chips, 7 chips, 9 chips before you got 1 chip. So all these guys are immature until they really learn how to win, and then when they get the win, they have to go into another phase. And I think Kyrie is slow rolling on that next phase, and that's his problem. Yeah. He's got to mature in that way. I think we had this conversation before. I think Kyrie's issue is that people just kind of like, I always remind people that when they played when Cleveland played Golden State the first year, and Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt and they lost in 6, LeBron averaged 35, 9, and 10, which was an incredible finals. I mean, he balled out, right? He played incredible, right? Then when they won the next year, LeBron averaged 35, 9, and 10. His numbers didn't change. He still did what LeBron does. But the Kyrie 24, 25 a game was the reason why the championship came home to Cleveland. And not they did it together, not because of the block, not because of just the shot. It was a conglomerate effort because LeBron kept them in games and Kyrie took the dagger blows. He threw all the haymakers in that series. Every time Golden State had something coming, Kyrie hit him in the gut. It was like he was the gut puncher. And not only did he do that, he took away their best player. Yeah. Because of his offensive skill set, he took away their best player, which was Steph Curry.
And he D'd him up tight situations.
He beat him up. He never played defense, but he D'd him up in that.
He D'd him up tight situations.
In the tight situations. That's kind of like, and then when we talk about the championship, not LeBron's fault. This has nothing to do with LeBron. Everybody focuses on the block. Yeah. And I think Kyrie feels like LeBron could say, yo, we don't win if Kyrie don't take that shot. But he won't do that because hey, that's not my boy.
But you know what? To that point, and I agree with you. To that point, LeBron had been waiting so long for his moment.
I know.
Like everything else. No, that's Dwayne Wade's moment.
Yeah.
This is the first time it's my moment. And it's like I said, it's a process. And a lot of times these mega athletes are still just human beings growing, and young people growing. And but it'd be those types of back like maneuvers when you swallow that, you learn to swallow the pill.
Yeah. You know what I throw at Cliffy? I wish we could just take the money out of it and just call them basketball players like we play basketball. And then we can have the same conversation because people that play basketball take money out of it and whatever. I don't care what level you play at. If you tried to hoop, you always smelled a sucker on the court. I don't care what nobody can say on the screen. You smelled a sucker on the court. Period. That's the end. And when people smell sucker, you a sucker. That's it. I mean, you could be a great sucker. You could be the best dressing sucker. You could be a high jumping sucker.
But you know what? Again, there are different versions of sucker shit.
That's true. That's true.
So there's like sucker shit that motherfuckers do where you throw niggas under the bus when you ain't got to. It's sucker shit that's like, it's a lot of different versions of sucker shit.
What I'm saying is we take basketball out because I play with a lot of dudes that were better than me and they got their ass handed to them. I mean, period. Athletically, but they couldn't play basketball better than me. From here to here, they weren't better than me. From the neck up, they were better than me athletically.
Like athletically, yeah.
Athletically,
but in terms of playing the game of basketball, they were not better than you.
And then I played with guys. That were not even better than me physically, athletically, but they want to make one shot and then they want to point directions on how we need to play because they made one basket. They coach it from the court. You got guys that they want to put everybody in position because they make one shot.
Because you made one shot on the court.
Now they the guru of the game.
Right.
So it's there's a lot of different people out there, and then you got guys who are good in the first game is 11, and they good from 1 to 5. But then when
they just fade.
They don't want the ball, right? They don't want the ball. So it was one of those. We had those guys. So it's so many different personalities in basketball, and when you kind of like sniff out what the beef is, well, all these players keep saying the same thing when they leave. This guy. And it must be when there's fire, there's smoke. And I think LeBron is probably the most phenomenal player of his generation. And I always keep saying that, preface it by saying his generation. But everybody keeps saying these little things about him as a person. And then when I watched that show when he won the Cleveland championship, and he sits there and says, you know, I think this made me the greatest of all time. I can't mess with it. I'm done.
Yeah, that's ultimate frustration and all this GOAT talk. I mean, I don't know. He had to know that was going to cause some controversy, and cats were going to laugh that out. You know,
but it's, you know what, that's just guys that you know, like they dumb it down. Like I remember D Wade asking him why he didn't want to go at Kobe in an All-Star game. He was like, "It's an All-Star game." D Wade was like, "So," or even the slam dunk competition, man. Like, why weren't you in it? Like, it's just certain little things that just like this.
I think that's why he doesn't want to do it, because he knows he's gonna win it.
He knows he's gonna win it.
He knows he's gonna win it, so he don't want to do it.
I mean, Jordan, Dominique, and Kobe, and Vince Carter. And, I mean, his basketball fans would have loved to just see it one time. Dr. J.
It's different. It's different.
You think LeBron would have won all these dunk contests?
Dude,
I don't know about that.
Dude, the shit I'm watching this nigga do in the game, that's like, I'm not even trying to do it. And it's like, this nigga's like, he's like, I don't see him not, you know.
Who's that cat that
or at least being in the top two? I can see him being in the top two at least.
Yeah, I mean, I see him competing for.
I can see him be the top two. Like, I don't think he's gonna be whack at all. I think he's gonna give us what we expect. He gonna, like, the thing he's jumping from here to here. Like, the dude is crazy.
But why is it different though? Because everybody wanted to do it. Like, it's like everybody that wanted to do it, like, they did it. Like, I just don't understand. What is that piece that would say to you that you didn't want to be in that competition that every great had been in, that was a high flyer in the history of the game, including Dr. J, Jordan, Dominique, Kobe, Vince Carter. I mean, you name them, they were all in it. And I think from a fan perspective, you would just want to see it. Like, that would just be dope.
I would want to see that. Yes, I do want to see it, but I don't.
Well, it's overdone now.
It's done now.
Yeah, I don't knock him. I don't knock him for not. I'm not gonna look at it like, oh, he's working.
No, I'm not saying that's like end all. What I'm saying is that it's something in that. It's just something that just like another thing is like, well, I just don't understand why you wouldn't want to do something and compete on a stage like that. That's not. I don't know. It's just weird. That's all.
Mm-hmm. So Attica says. Wait a minute. Hold on. Attica says he wasn't beating Vince or Kobe in a dunk competition. He's scared to not win.
Yeah. Well, that not win comment, I agree on. Definitely.
I agree. That's what I agree.
I definitely with that. He didn't have that assurance that he was going to win it, so he was just like, you know what? I'll play it, but I don't want to, expose myself.
I mean,
I don't want to expose myself to no failure. That's
it.
Because you got these cats. I mean, who was the cat from Miami?
Yeah.
You got Aaron Gordon. You got you got Levine. A couple of these recent dunk contests were historic, yo. He wasn't beating these young cats.
Not now. I mean, I get why he was doing that.
7, 8 years ago, 19 years ago, man. Come on, man.
I agree with it now. I wouldn't do it now either. It's stupid. But it goes back to let's take money out of it, right? And again, we all played games. We all played in basketball courts where the guy that couldn't really beat you, they dumb down the game and mess the game up and muck it up. And everybody starts playing kind of corny because one person is acting silly because they can't win. So they mess up the run. That's how they do it. It's little things about basketball personalities that you see. So I'm not going to play hard because if he makes me look bad, then they won't think that I'm really good. But you are really good. Just play hard. We just want you to compete. That's all it really boils down to. So don't muck it up because you don't want to do something. That's all I'm saying. But it is what it is.
I don't want to dunk. I don't want to dunk in a dunk contest. Is mucking it up.
I'm just saying. What I'm saying is that he's, like he said, not scared. He's not going to win. So when people are afraid of not winning something, they kind of dumb down something. It's kind of what he did in the All-Star game when he told Kobe, "Well, it's the All-Star game." That's what Dwayne Wade said to him. He's challenging you, step up. Dwayne Wade said that. I mean, I'm not making it up. That's what he said. He's like, it's the last 3 minutes of an All-Star game. He's pushing up on you. What's up? He said, why are you giving me the ball back? Anybody remember that? Cliff, you remember that?
I definitely remember. Yep.
If your peers ask you that question, that's basic basketball. It has nothing to do with fame or just is a level of competition that might be missing. As great as you are. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I just 10-4 is like a big thing. That's like amazing. On 3 different teams.
Yeah.
It's like
LeBron is definitely
I mean, there's no question.
Greatest of his generation. But basically, with all the expectations that was put on his shoulders, he exceeded them. And you definitely thought that that would be impossible. Mm-hmm. I'm still a Jordan guy, but he can still, he has years left. So, his time here is not done yet, and he can win a couple of more.
Is the availability. He takes care of his body like crazy, and we've never seen that before. That's the bottom line. I mean, the man is in his 18th, 19th year, and he's still physically in physical condition that's like no other. We just hope that he doesn't get hurt, because at that stage also, when you get hurt, it is a wrap.
It's hard to recover.
It's hard to recover. I mean, because I think even in Kobe's 17th or 18th season, he was having his best season in his career until he popped his Achilles after willing the Lakers to the championship, and popped his Achilles, and it was over. He was never the same player again. So and he was taking care of his body too. So
when it's time, it's time.
Yeah, LeBron has just been very fortunate. God bless him to be able to stay healthy and play at that level for as long as he has.
Chris Webber once said that your knees have a certain amount of jumps. And no matter what happens, when you reach that number of jumps, your knees just won't. So like you said, for him to be the age that he is, the size that he is, plays with the intensity that he does, for him to last, this long, that's incredible. That is definitely incredible. Yep. So yeah, man, we almost 2 hours in.
What's the question gonna be next week? So I can be privy to it.
Nah, we're gonna figure it out.
Y'all gonna figure it out again?
We figure it out.
Yeah.
And it can be a collaborative effort. You can think of what we can think of. We just want something hot and controversial.
Matter of fact,
I like it like this. I like it this way.
Let's get the chat involved, and maybe they can come up with the question of the week.
So
there you go.
Let's do that. I like
that way.
That
so that's what we're doing. When you see the flyer, ladies and gentlemen, when I post it for next week, I'll make sure I put that little blurb in the comment section to remind everybody. Please share the flyer in the comment. I mean, in the description, we'll have the question there. So we want to bring more people into the building to enjoy IZM Sports with Hakeem Green, Wes Henderson, and Spliffy Allen, aka the Zatch Master. Yeah. Yo, we out of here, y'all. Peace.
Good job, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.